let's talk about what Copilot is, right? We've been talking about AI tools all this while. We are focusing today on GitHub Copilot specifically. So GitHub Copilot is an AI pair programmer which is built by GitHub. It lives essentially inside your editor and watches what you're writing to suggest what comes next, right? So those who have written code already would, understand what autocomplete is, what auto suggestions are, right? We've seen them in IDEs before, but GitHub Copilot goes you know, a leap ahead, wherein it does not just suggest, it completes everything for you, right? So it's way more than autocomplete. So we'll walk through some of the features that are there in GitHub, right? We'll talk about inline suggestions. We'll talk about Copilot chat. We'll talk about the agent mode. We'll talk about GitHub Copilot CLI, code review. So all of these steps are something that we are going to talk about, right? So GitHub Copilot works in VS Code, JetBrains, Neovim, and also directly on github.com. So it gets integrated with all of these, and it is fairly easy to get this thing done, right? So we are going to use the VS Code versions of it. For those of you who don't understand what essentially VS Code, JetBrains, Neovim are, they are basically called IDEs, right? Integrated Development Environment, essentially where you write the code, right? So where you write and execute the code, that is known as an IDE, and it works with these three, right? GitHub.com is a website which is essentially owned by Microsoft, and it basically is used for hosting all of your code bases, right? It's a repository of code, and GitHub Copilot works on top of this as well on the website, right? So we're going to talk about all of these things, and we will be focusing specifically on VS Code. So very importantly, how do you set it up? How do you set it up for success?